I got completely manhandled, and this is pretty infuriating. If you like the drama videos and the conflict, well, here's one for you. So there's been word going around of CGC pre-screen submissions that are just really undergoing a lot of scrutiny by the grader, harsh grading, ridiculous turnout ratios. And last night I saw one from Bronzeville Comics. Check his channel out if you haven't. I was like, okay, I'm not going to make a video out of this, though I should, because it's kind of conflict and it's kind of drama, so typically those do better. But this is really something that's going on, obviously. I just did the most massive Spider-Man CGC submission that I personally have ever done. It's a total of, I think, almost 60 books. And part of those 60 was a 9.8 pre-screen. And I'm going to tell you why I'm worried about the rest of them. Of course, before we get into the video, hit like and subscribe if you're not already. Check out the description links below for SL Comics. Okay, so out of the 60 books I submitted, 30 of them were under a 9.8 pre-screen. Real quick, if you don't know what that is, when you submit books to CGC, if those books that you set as a 9.8 pre-screen do not hit that 9.8 grade, then you do not get charged for the encapsulation. They'll just get sent back to you raw, and you'll get charged an $8 fee per book. And I'm going to show you the books along the way, and along the way talk about what I think the hell is going on here. So first book up, we had a 9.8. This is one of the custom labels. I like these on certain books, but this is the first appearance of Scream. These, I got a ton of them in a collection. And I was like, well, let me just send all of them in. And this hit the 9.8. I actually have 2 of them in here, so I'm not going to gyp you guys with, you know, the next book is the same damn thing. This is one. Here's both of them. They look great. I like them a lot. And yeah, and these are easy 9.8s. During the 90s, when books like that were getting mass produced, I mean, people were just buying issues and literally never even taking them out of the bag and board that they put them in. So easy 9.8. I'm happy about those because those weren't really that meaningful to me. They were something to kind of help pay for the hobby. Starting to dip into what I think is going on here. So I don't want to blame CGC because I really don't think CGC is the reason behind some of these people like Bronzeville and Mint Hunter are getting back these terrible conversion percentages on these pre-screened books. Some people might say, oh, well, yeah, they want you to resubmit the books and make more money that way. I took one economics class in college in history, and the only thing I took away from that class is money is the most valuable right now at this point. So I really think it's in CGC's best financial interest to take the money now when somebody wants to grade a book now. There is really no guarantee that somebody is going to resend those books back in. Regardless, I don't think the risk is worth it. Another one of the books I got back was this. I love this. These are reprints of the old Spider-Man stuff, and a lot of these, you know, are the first American reprints of these comics here. And as you can see, I got the Spider-Gwen label on it, which I think is just really cool. On a book that's very simple like this and is, you know, is a reprint. Of course, it's not as desirable, but it's a 9.8. I don't believe really in grading these unless they're 9.8s. Unless you have the reprint of Amazing Fantasy 15. I think that's a little, you can kind of go in some different grades. And also the Punisher first appearance, that reprint as well. I think it's 176 or something like that. That Marvel Tales is also worth grading at not a 9.8 grade. So this, I think, is I think this was a good decision for sure. I have 2 of these. I'm going to keep one and I'm going to sell the other one. So that's 2 that made the cut. Spider-Gwen labels, yeah, that label's pretty cool and it looks good. I like the labels. I do believe that the labels are going to hold some value in the future, and they're already starting to show signs that they are, if done correctly, a little more sought after than without a label. So back to the CGC issue. So again, I don't think it's a business issue with CGC, but I do think it is a grader issue. And as we all know, when we send books in to get graded, it is a luck of the draw depending on who you're going to get. And unfortunately, I got somebody whose grading standards, to be quite honest with you, are ridiculous. I mean, when I say it took me months to prep these books, here's the thing too, as a testament to my grading skills, I've submitted a lot of books and I analyzed these books before submitting to CGC countless times. I mean, I was super picky. Some of my closest comic friends would actually call me a difficult grader or a tough grader myself. I did buy this book here. I read a good bit of it. So will there be a margin of error for every grader? Absolutely. Out of the 30 books that I submitted to CGC, 9 of them came back in a 9.8. That is terrible. That is awful. I guess my point is, I don't know if this grader, we're going to call him Frank. You listening, Frank? Hey, Frank, lighten up, all right? Lighten up. Frank is grading extremely, extremely harsh. Next book real quick. So this one right here is a recent book. This is a Rob Liefeld cover, homage. I was gonna get the custom label on this, but I was like, you know what? Screw it. I think this is a cool homage covers. I don't buy too many of these, but yeah, I just like this. I think it was cool. So I might keep this one. This was probably my favorite one to get back, and thankfully this was one of the ones that I got back that I was hoping would hit the 9.8 the most, and that is this Hulk 300 here, which is an amazing black Spidey cover, and I got the symbiote, black symbiote label on there. I mean, I kind of knew what this would look like. I knew it would look great. So I am pretty happy that Frank blessed this one with the 9.8. So at least he did that for me. It's gorgeous. I really, really do love this. Now, will I be submitting some of these books again? A few of them, absolutely, absolutely I will. All right, another book I got was this one here. This came out last year. No, yeah, this came out last year. This is the Chew variant cover, Amazing Spider-Man. This is ASM number 2 or 896, the legacy number. And I really just loved this cover here. I just thought it was a great cover. This thing was so high grade. I was like, oh, this could be one of those, maybe a 9.9. I mean, just not a, what they call, like a binary separation, which is a natural splitting of the paper here on the spine. That's almost in every single comic book. When comic books surpass those typical manufacturing defects that happen on every book, that's when you start getting into the realm of the 9.9s and the 10s. No color rub on the back at all. Completely pristine. So I was like, maybe if I get the right grader on a good day, maybe it could get like a 9.9. But 9.8 from Frank is maybe even better. Now I want to talk about what really worries me. There's another 30 books that I think Frank looked at. And these are the most massive, these are all of my biggest Spider-Man books that I sent in on this one giant submission. If you guys are interested in the unboxing of the rest of the 30 books that will be in this week, I'm either going to do it Thursday or Friday night. So hit the bell notification on the channel, and then you'll get notified when I decide to do that. But that video will be coming this week, depending on when they arrive at my doorstep. But in those other 30 books, I have an ASM 300. I've got a First Miles Morales. I've got 2 First Black Cats. I've got an Italian First Punisher. I've got a lot of big Spider-Man keys that if Frank's grading, well, shit, now I don't know what to expect. 2 more books to show you. So this right here is Amazing Spider-Man number 375. This is the first appearance of She-Venom, right? Yeah. The girl that becomes She-Venom, I think. But I got this one with the custom label. Love the 90s shine. Gorgeous looking book. I think this one looked great. So, yeah, that looks gorgeous. But this was easy. Like, this is if this is not seriously messed up, these are typically easy to get in high grade. Not easy to press because of the thicker cardstock cover, but if they're in high grade, they're like 9.8 slam dunks. So I was happy about this one, of course. One of the possible predictions of if Frank up the rest of my submission or not is, here's the thing. Frank could have just a very high standard for a 9.8. This is definitely possible. Though in Bronzeville, I do have to say, in Bronzeville's video, his was a 9.6 that he had trouble getting. So Frank might just have high standards all around, which if that's the case, then it's just really bad luck of who got my Spider-Man submission. But once maybe we get out the 9s, it could be possible that Frank's grading tendencies are more traditional, or maybe he's even a little more lenient when it comes to like the lower of the high grade or the mid grade side. It's possible. Needless to say, it's going to be a pretty crazy fun unboxing. Going to be very interesting. So you guys should definitely hang out with us when we do this live on the channel. It's going to be fun. I was even going to make a game out of it, and because I have all of the defects recorded, so before I unveil the grade of the book, I was going to show you guys, here are the defects on the book, let you guess in the live comment section what the grade is, and see who's the most accurate, see who's the best at grading. But I think Frank's going to throw us all for a loop, so I don't know if I'm going to do it. Comment below if you think I should still play that game or not live. And the last book, and probably maybe the most valuable book in the bunch, I'm thinking. This is Maximum Clonage Omega. Came out in 1995, 9.8, but this is the newsstand copy, which is really freaking cool. This thing is really hard to find in a newsstand, especially in a 9.8, especially graded by Frank. So if maybe that's a selling point for this book, graded by Frank, 9.8, maybe I can get some more money for it. Actually, I don't even think I'm going to sell this, though, because I like rare books. Who doesn't? And the fact that this is a 9.8 and is a badass cover, hard to find, I might just keep this one. If there's one thing I can say about CGC, I've had problems. Of course, we've all had issues with them in the past. They've addressed all my problems. Their customer service is amazing. CGC's customer service is some of the best I've ever experienced in any business, period. There's always somebody on the phone that answers. There's always a real live person. And it doesn't ever seem like they're ever too busy or, not caring about what your concern is. I think CGC is actually starting to do a lot of things correctly as their business is evolving to our hobby that is also evolving. So I do want to give them credit where credit's due. But unfortunately, once you hire certain people, especially in a subjective trade such as comic grading, at a certain point it kind of gets out of CGC hands and you're left to the mercy of the grader, which we all know is part of the risk of this. Unfortunately, the odds were not in my favor this time. We're going to see how bad Frank hit me with the rest of these bigger books. That's going to be happening this week. So again, hit that bell notification if you guys want to hang out with us for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, check out the description links below for where I sell comics. Some of these are going to be for sale there and on Instagram as well, all that stuff. Hit the like button on your way out if you want to support the channel. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. And that will do it for this episode on the Paper Chase channel. See you on the next page.